Alright, so a little update on the Gladiator, which I absolutely love, except for this issue is pathetic. So it's had a tink 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 popping noise when turning. I thought I might have already hurt a front universal joint. As you can see, the universal joints look good. There's no grease puking out of them or anything bad. Got on the forum to some research, and everyone says that the nuts on the ball joints here and here are not torqued properly, and they're 100% right. This one was torqued to about 12 foot-pounds, the bottom one about 10 foot-pounds. Supposed to be 55 and 33. I went up a little bit higher than that because that doesn't seem tight enough for me. I also started checking everything else. You can see there's a couple of clean threads there. These were about half a turn loose. And every other bolt I checked was not nearly as tight as it should be. So I think Jeep just has a problem with their torque specs. They're not torquing them down enough, and after you start to drive it, obviously the weight of the vehicle sitting on the cone in this aluminum knuckle, it seats a little bit deeper, starts to get loose, lets that cone wobble around and gives you a popping noise when steering. Mine was happening mostly in four-wheel drive on harder packed terrain, like in grass for instance, or when I had a really big load on it. So it's starting to scare me, so I did some research. Turns out it's not a big deal, it's not hard to fix. You just need a 22mm wrench and some cotter pins. Obviously you gotta replace the cotter pins, you see the new cotter pin. And tighten down all four of your ball joints. Obviously this is not a torque wrench. You can't really get a torque wrench in here. I use the torque wrench on the bottom one just to see it, feel that, and that's how I kind of estimated what they were beforehand, but they were way too loose. So I snugged down all these, tie rods, drag link on the other side too, checked everything else to get my hands on, and the torque specs are pretty poor. This is exactly what you would expect from an old Jeep or a Fiat. Not something that would happen with a Toyota. I mean, this is like some very beefy components, right? It's Dana 44. How about you guys assemble it right and torque it down properly? Interested to see if y'all have had the same problem. If you hear that popping noise, go ahead and try torquing those down first. It's a good fix. I already drove around the yard. I just pulled the tire off to show you. Seems to have fixed my issue for now. I'll make an update video if it comes back. But you can see my nice dorky cotter pins there. There is a service bulletin about this. A lot of people have the same problem. This has fixed it. I didn't think it was going to be my problem on a 2021 because it's been going on for a little while, but apparently this is an issue that's been plaguing everyone that Jeep hasn't addressed yet at the factory. So shame on them. Strike one for Jeep. Maybe strike two if you consider strike one being the fact that the bed will dent if you put a foiler with knobby tires on it. So that's strike one, this is strike two. If we get to 3 strikes, we flip it over. No, just kidding. All right, you're welcome for the information.